There's a fundamental misunderstanding that most men carry into every interaction they have with a woman they find attractive. They spend their energy looking for the loud signals, the obvious hair flips, the constant giggling, or the rapid-fire text responses. They've been told by modern dating gurus that if she isn't performing for you, she isn't interested. But here is the truth that most men completely miss. Highly value women, the kind of women who possess depth and emotional intelligence, rarely give away their hand that easily. In fact, the more a woman genuinely likes you, the more she might actually guard her immediate reactions. Why? Because she is just as afraid of rejection as you are. She is protecting her own heart while simultaneously trying to figure out if you are the grounded masculine presence you appear to be. If you're only looking for the obvious, you are going to miss the subtle psychological leaks that happen when her subconscious mind is already sold on you, even while her conscious mind is still playing it cool. Most men walk through life effectively blind to the reality of the women around them. They see a woman's polite smile and think it's an invitation, or they see her quietness and think it's a rejection. They are reacting to the surface, never realizing that underneath that surface, a completely different conversation is happening. Attraction isn't a light switch that just flips on or off. It's a slow building frequency. And when a woman starts to tune into your frequency, she begins to leave breadcrumbs of interest. Not because she wants to play a game, but because she literally cannot help it. These are biological and psychological responses that bypass her social filter. They are the cracks in the armor. In this breakdown, we aren't talking about the typical advice you've heard 1,000 times. We are going deep into the mechanics of female psychology to identify 8 hidden signs that she secretly likes you. These are the signs she doesn't even know she's giving. We're going to talk about why she might suddenly become more clumsy around you, why her body language might betray her words, and why the way she remembers your smallest details is actually a profound act of intimacy. If you've ever walked away from a conversation wondering where you stand, or if you felt a spark but weren't sure if it was mutual, this is for you. By the end of this video, you will no longer be guessing. You won't be that man who is look at the architecture of the human heart and the mechanics of the masculine and feminine dynamic. And because of that, the men who gather here are different. You're not just looking for a date. You're looking for a connection that actually carries weight. You're looking for a woman who sees the depth in you because you've developed the depth to see it in her. That's why I want to know who is in this room with me today. Where are you watching from? Whether you're in a quiet apartment in London, driving through the heart of Texas, or tuning in from a bustling city in Lagos or Tokyo, drop your city or your country in the comments below. I'm Isabella, and I make it a point to read these. It matters to me because it reminds me that this isn't just a video. It's a global conversation between men who are tired of the noise and ready for the truth. And I'm ready to understand the world on a deeper level. There is an invisible thread that connects every man watching this. It's the desire to be understood and the drive to become the kind of man who understands others. Think about the last time you felt truly seen by a woman. Not just noticed for what you can provide or how you look, but seen for the man you are actually becoming. It's a rare feeling, isn't it? Most of the world is just passing by, lost in their own screens, their own anxieties, and their own scripts. But by being here, you are stepping out of that autopilot mode. You are choosing to sharpen your intuition. As you type your location below, I want you to take a deep breath and settle into this moment. Clear the distractions. Put the phone on. Do not disturb if you have to. We are about to go into territory that most men find intimidating because it requires them to pay attention to things that aren't loud. It requires a level of masculine stillness that allows you to feel the shift in a room when a woman's energy changes. If you're ready to stop guessing and start knowing, if you're ready to become the man who can sense a woman's interest before she even says a word, then let's move forward together. We're starting with sign number 1, and it's a sign that occurs in the very first few minutes of a conversation. Yet, 90% of men completely misinterpret it as a lack of interest. Let's look at the vulnerability test. The very first sign that a woman is moving from casual interest into a space of genuine attraction is something most men actually perceive as a mood killer. It's what I call the vulnerability test. Imagine you're in a conversation that's going well. The energy is light. You're both smiling. The mask of the first date or first meeting is firmly in place. Then suddenly she drops a small piece of unpolished truth. She mentions a small insecurity about her career, a mistake she made earlier that day, or a quirky habit she's usually embarrassed by. Most men, in their desire to keep the vibe positive, try to brush past this. They offer a quick compliment or a don't worry about it and move back to the safe, shallow waters of small talk. But if you do that, you've just failed the test. You see, when a woman likes a man, she begins to subconsciously audit his emotional container. She is asking herself, if I show him the parts of me that aren't perfect, will he crumble? Will he judge me? Or is he grounded enough to hold that space? When she shares a vulnerability, she is handing you a key. She is testing the waters to see if you are a safe harbor. High-value women are exhausted by the performative nature of modern dating. They spend all day being on at work, on social media, with their friends. When they meet a man who has true masculine presence, they feel an almost primal urge to let the guard down. If she tells you she's nervous about a presentation or that she felt lonely over the weekend, she isn't looking for you to fix it. She is signaling that she trusts you enough to let you see behind the curtain. Think about the psychology of this for a moment. We don't show our wounds to people we don't care about. We show our wounds to the people we want to be close to. If she stays in perfect mode, if every hair is in place, every story is polished, and she never admits to a single doubt, she is likely keeping you at arm's length. She's treating you like a stranger or a business associate. But the moment she leaks a flaw, she is inviting you into her inner sanctum. The sign isn't just that she shares the vulnerability, it's how she watches you while she does it. If she looks for your reaction, searching your eyes to see if you're still there with her, she is deeply invested in your opinion of her. She cares what you think, and that care is the bedrock of attraction. So, the next time a woman tells you something that feels a little too real for a first or second conversation, don't run from it. Don't try to distract her with a joke. Instead, lean in. Maintain that calm, steady eye contact we talked about. Acknowledge what she said with a simple, grounded sentence like, I appreciate you telling me that. Hjälper na mig ifar imnei. It takes a lot of self-awareness to see that in yourself. By doing that, you've just signaled that you are a man of depth. You've shown her that you can handle her complexity. And in that moment, her attraction for you won't just grow, it will solidify. You've moved from being the guy she's talking to the man who understands her. The second sign is something so primal and so deeply rooted in our biological evolution that it is almost impossible for a woman to fake. It is what I call the proximity shift. While the first sign was about emotional vulnerability, this one is about physical territory. You see, we all have an invisible bubble of personal space, a boundary that we subconsciously maintain to feel safe and in control. With 95% of the people we meet, that bubble is rigid. We keep our distance. We angle our bodies toward the exit. We maintain a polite gap. But when a woman feels a genuine psychological and physical pull toward a man, her subconscious mind begins to dismantle that boundary piece by piece. Notice her alignment. Most men focus on whether a woman is smiling or making eye contact, but the real truth is in her feet and her torso. If you are in a crowded room or sitting across from each other at a table, look at how she orients herself. Is she stomach to stomach with you? In body language psychology, this is known as fronting. It is the ultimate sign of trust and interest. By squaring her torso toward you, she is exposing her most vulnerable vital organs to you. She is saying, without uttering a word, I am fully present with you. You have my undivided attention, but the proximity shift goes deeper than just alignment. It's about the magnetic pull. Watch for the subtle ways she closes the gap. Maybe she leans in a little further than the conversation actually requires to hear you. Maybe she places her drink or her phone closer to yours on the table, merging your personal zones into one shared space. Or perhaps she finds accidental reasons to enter your orbit, brushing past your arm in a hallway, or lingering just a few inches closer than a just friend would. These aren't accidents. Her subconscious is testing the electromagnetic tension between you. She is trying to see how it feels to be in your energy. And here is the Isabella secret that most men never notice. If she enters your space and then stays there even after the reason for being close has passed, she is waiting for you to notice. She is waiting for you to be the grounded masculine presence that acknowledges that tension without being overwhelmed by it. Think about the flight or fight response. When we are around someone we don't trust or someone we feel neutral about, any intrusion into our personal space feels like a threat. We stiffen up, we pull back. But when a woman likes you, your proximity feels like home. It feels like a relief. If you move slightly closer and she doesn't flinch, or better yet, she subtly closes the remaining inch of the gap, you are no longer just a guy she's talking to. You are someone she is physically and emotionally claiming in that space. When you notice this, do not panic. Do not feel like you have to immediately escalate or make a move. The most powerful thing you can do is simply exist in that closeness with calm composure. Let the tension breathe. Let her feel that you are comfortable with her proximity. Because a man who can handle a woman's physical closeness without becoming fidgety or desperate is a man who signals high status and high emotional intelligence. You aren't chasing the proximity. You are the center of gravity she is orbiting around. We've talked about the emotional and the physical, but now we have to talk about the cognitive investment. This third sign is perhaps the most flattering and the most overlooked. I call it the memory recall. Have you ever been in a conversation with a woman you've met once or twice before, and she brings up a tiny, insignificant detail you mentioned in passing weeks ago? Maybe it was the name of your first pet, a specific brand of coffee you prefer, or a throwaway comment about a project you were working on at the office. Most men hear this and think, oh, she has a great memory. But I'm telling you, that is a massive understatement of what is actually happening in her mind. In the world we live in today, we are all suffering from attention poverty. We are bombarded with thousands of pieces of information every hour. Our brains are designed to filter out 99% of what people say to us just to survive the day. We remember what is important to us. We remember what we value. When a woman remembers the small things about you, it is a psychological leak that she has been ruminating on you. It means that when you were speaking, she wasn't just waiting for her turn to talk. She wasn't just politely nodding while thinking about her to-do list. She was deep. She was building a mental map of who you are. To her subconscious, your words aren't just noise. They are data points she is using to understand the man behind the mask. Think about the Isabella philosophy we started with. Most women are used to being looked at, but rarely are they genuinely listened to. When a woman finds a man who she actually likes, she flips the script. She becomes the one who is hyper-focused. If she brings up a detail that you don't even remember telling her, she is signaling that you have occupied her mental real estate long after the conversation ended. She has been replaying the tape. She has been thinking about you in the quiet moments. While she's driving, while she is spending it on the details of your life, she is already emotionally invested. When you notice this happen, when she surprises you with a memory recall, do not just move past it. This is a moment to create that psychological tension we love to talk about. Stop for a second, look her directly in the eyes with a slight knowing smile and say, I'm impressed. Most people wouldn't have caught that. You're a very good listener, aren't you? By calling it out with calm composure, you are doing two things. First, you are rewarding her for her attention, which encourages her to go even deeper. Second, you are showing her that you are observant enough to notice her noticing you. That meta level of awareness is incredibly attractive. It shows that you aren't just falling for her. You are a man of presence who is aware of the dynamics at play. You aren't just the subject of her memory. You are the architect of the connection. The fourth sign is one of the most fascinating aspects of human mythology, and it's something I call the protective gate. To understand this, you have to understand that as human beings, we are constantly subconsciously arranging our environment to reflect our level of comfort. When we feel even slightly on guard socially, emotionally, or physically, we create barriers. These are the gates we put up between ourselves and the world. In a social setting, a woman does this with her belongings, her purse, her drink, her phone, or even the way she crosses her arms across her chest. These objects act as a psychological shield, a buffer that says, this is my space and you are on the other side of it. No naman fi kininte. Rude, she suddenly slides that bag to the side or moves her glass out of the direct line of sight between your eyes and hers. Pay very close attention. She has just demilitarized the zone. She is removing the obstacles that prevent a clear energetic path between you. By clearing the space, she is signaling that she no longer feels the need to protect herself from you. She is inviting your energy to reach her without interference. Most men are so busy trying to think of the next clever thing to say that they never notice the table setting. They don't see the shift from a shielded posture to an exposed one. But a man of true presence, a man who is grounded in the moment, notices when the barriers drop. Think, this is the moment where many men make a mistake. They see the gate open and they try to rush in. They become loud or they try to force a move because they sense the opening. But the Isabella way is different. When you notice the barriers being removed, you don't chase. You simply expand your own presence to fill the space she has created. You remain the calm, steady center of the storm. When the protective gate opens, it is a silent yes. It's her subconscious telling yours that she feels safe enough to be seen. It is an invitation into her private emotional landscape. If you can recognize this shift, you will realize that you don't need tricks to get close to her. She is literally clearing the path for you. All you have to do is be the man who is observant enough to notice and grounded enough to respect the invitation. You aren't forcing your way in. You are being welcomed into a space that most men will never even see. We are halfway through these 8 psychological leaks. And if you've been paying attention, you're probably starting to replay recent conversations in your mind. You're starting to realize that the women in your life have been speaking to you this entire time. Not with their words, but with their energy, their posture, and their subconscious choices. This is the moment where most men get overwhelmed. They start thinking, how did I miss all of this? Or, am I doing enough to be that grounded presence Isabella is talking about? I want you to pause for a second. Take a breath. If you found yourself nodding along to even one of these signs, if you've realized that a woman in your past or your present has opened that protective gate or remembered those tiny details, then I want you to hit the like button right now. Not for the algorithm, but as a signal to yourself. It's an acknowledgement that you are no longer the man who is blind to the depth of the feminine. You are becoming a man of higher intuition. And if you haven't subscribed yet, ask yourself why. Are you ready to consistently have these slow burn breakthroughs, or are you okay with going back to the loud surface level dating advice that leaves you feeling empty? Here is something you need to understand as we move into the final, most potent signs. Attraction is not a one-way street. It is a dance of frequencies. As you learn to spot these signs in her, you must also be auditing yourself. Are you providing the stillness that allows her to feel safe enough to leak these signs? You see, a woman won't show her vulnerability. She won't shift her proximity, and she certainly won't open her gate if she senses that you are reactive, desperate, or performing. The signs we've covered so far are the foundation. They are the green lights that tell you. So let's get back into it. If you're settled, if you're grounded, and if you're ready to see the signs that most men will go their physiological leaks from occurring when she is in the presence of a man she genuinely desires. Sign number 5 is the social guard. Watch how she behaves when other people, especially other women, enter the space. If she likes you, she will subconsciously claim you. She might subtly move closer to you when another woman walks by, or she might increase her eye contact with you to signal to the room that your attention is occupied. It's not about jealousy, it's about alignment. She is signaling that she has chosen your orbit. If she stays open to the entire room and treats you exactly like she treats everyone else, she's being polite. But if she creates a bubble around the two of you that feels difficult for others to break into, she is secretly saying, this is the man I want to be seen with. So, di perendanariti, Sign number 6 is the physiological pupil dilation. This is something rooted in our ancient brain. When we look at something we want, whether it's a beautiful sunset, a delicious meal, or a man we are deeply attracted to, our pupils dilate. It is a biological response to let in more light and more information about the object of our desire. Most men never look closely enough at a woman's eyes to notice this. They are too busy looking at her outfit or her smile. But if you have that masculine stillness we've been talking about and you maintain steady, calm eye contact, you will see it. Her eyes will literally soften and widen. It is a moment of pure, unadulterated seeing. If her eyes look sharp and constricted, she is in analytical mode. But if they are wide and soft, she is in attraction mode. Sign number 7 is the grooming leak. Watch her hands. Does she subconsciously touch her hair, adjust her jewelry, or smooth out her clothes while she's talking to you? You might think she's just being fidgety, but in the world of evolutionary psychology, this is known as pining. She is subconsciously trying to present the best, most symmetrical version of herself to you. She wants to be right in your eyes. This is especially powerful if she does it right after you've made a deep point or offered her a grounded compliment. She is reacting to your gaze. Think about the weight of these 3 signs combined. She is claiming you socially. Her biology is opening up to you through her eyes, and she is subconsciously refining her appearance to be worthy of your attention. Most men see these as random behaviors. They think she's just acting like a girl. But you see the patterns. You see the Isabella truth that these are the echoes of her subconscious mind screaming that she is interested. When you spot these, do not call them out directly. You don't say, hey, your pupils are dilated. That breaks the spell. Instead, you simply acknowledge the tension. Give her a small, slow nod. Let her see that you are comfortable with her pining. Let her see that you aren't intimidated by the social guard. By staying grounded while she experiences these leaks, you become the anchor for her attraction. You are the rock and she is the tide coming in. We have reached the 8th and perhaps most definitive sign of all. While the others have been about her body, her eyes, and her memory, this final sign is about her vision. It is what I call future casting. You see, for a woman, attraction isn't just a physical reaction in the present moment. It is a psychological integration of you into her future. When a woman is genuinely drawn to a man's depth and his grounded masculine presence, her subconscious mind begins to build a bridge from today into next week, next month, and even next year. Listen closely to her language. This is where the Isabella philosophy becomes truly practical. Most men are so caught up in the right now, the immediate tension, the next joke, the current drink, that they fail to hear the most important word in a woman's vocabulary, we. If you are talking about a concert coming up in 3 months or a new restaurant that just opened across town, and she says, oh, we should definitely check that out, or we would have so much fun there, she has just performed a future cast. In that split second, her brain has already simulated a future reality where you are still by her side. She isn't just dating you in the present. She is auditioning you for her life's timeline. Think about the weight of that. Most people are non-committal. They use I or maybe or sometime. But when a woman uses we regarding an event that hasn't happened yet, she is signaling that she feels safe enough with you to assume your continued presence. She is inviting you to occupy a space in her upcoming story. It's a psychological leak of the highest order because it shows that her attraction has moved past the surface spark and into the realm of partnership potential. But future casting isn't always that direct. Sometimes it's subtle. She might mention a wedding she has to go to in the summer and then pause, looking at you to see how you react. Or she might ask for your opinion on a decision she's making for later in the year. By doing this, she is giving you a seat at the table of her life. She is testing to see if you are a man who is ready to lead or if you're a man who is just drifting through the moment. High-value women don't future cast with men they see as temporary. They don't waste their imaginative energy on men who lack stillness or depth. If she is casting you into her future, it's because she senses that you are an anchor, a man who won't be easily moved by the winds of life. When you hear a future cast, don't ruin it by becoming overly eager. Don't start planning the wedding in your head. Instead, acknowledge the we with that same calm composure we've practiced. Give her a slow, appreciative smile and say, that sounds like exactly the kind of thing we'd enjoy. So, and into they notice I used the word we back to her. By mirroring her future casting, you are confirming that you are on the same frequency. You are telling her subconscious, I see the bridge you're building and I'm walking across it with you. This is where the magic happens. This is where the spark turns into a slow burn fire that doesn't just go out when the date ends. You've moved from being a stranger to being a part of her internal world. And once you are there, you are no longer just another guy she's talking to. You are the man she is already anticipating. We have journeyed through 8 distinct psychological leaks, from the subtle dropping of a vulnerability to the profound shift of future casting. But I want to leave you with a truth that is far more important than any individual sign. If you walk away from this video and start treating these signs like a checklist, if you're constantly looking at your watch, measuring her distance with a ruler, or staring into her pupils like a scientist, you will lose the very thing that makes you attractive in the first place. You will lose your presence. The reason these signs occur is not because of a trick you performed. They occur because of the environment you created. A woman only leaks these signals when she is in the company of a man who is still. Think about a lake. If the water is choppy and the wind is howling, you can't see what's beneath the surface. But when the water is perfectly still, the entire world is reflected in it. You can see every pebble, every fish, every hidden layer. That is what your masculine energy does for a woman. When you are grounded, when you aren't reactive to her moods, and when you aren't performing to gain her approval, she feels a rare sense of safety. And in that safety, she unfolds. Most men spend their lives chasing. They chase the girl. They chase the money. They chase the status. But high-value attraction isn't about chasing. It's about becoming the kind of man who is so comfortable in his own skin that he doesn't need to ask, do you like me? Because he can feel the frequency of the room, he knows. He observes the protective gate opening. He hears the memory recall and he senses the proximity shift, and he remains unchanged. He is the anchor. If you've watched this far, you are that man. Or at the very least, you are on the path to becoming him. You've moved past the surface level dating advice that treats women like puzzles to be solved and started treating them like human beings to be understood. Which of these 8 signs hit differently for you today? Was it the future casting that made you realize she's already seeing a future with you? Or was it the social guard that explained that strange shift in her energy when you're out in public? Drop a comment below and let me know. I genuinely want to hear your stories, because that is how we all grow, by sharing the Isabella moments that actually changed our perspective. If this resonated with you, if you felt a shift in your own understanding of how attraction works, then subscribe and join this community. We are building a space where men can finally step out of the noise and into the depth. And don't forget to hit that notification bell, because we are consistently breaking down these psychological blueprints in ways that most people are too afraid to talk about. Take this knowledge, but more importantly, take this stillness into your next conversation. Don't look for the signs. Just be the man who is worthy of seeing them. Stay grounded, stay present, and as always, take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next breakdown.